sure, will fuel even more debate. Joining us now is Frank Sherry. He's Executive Director for the National Immigration Forum, and Terry Jeffrey, former campaign manager for Pat Buchanan and editor of Human Events. Gentlemen, thanks for being here. Terry, let me start with you. What do you think of these numbers? Pretty eye-opening, aren't they?
Well, I think they are. I think that an issue the United States faces today is that we do not have a finite capacity to bring in new immigrants and assimilate them to American culture. And as this American Community Survey from the Census Bureau out today or yesterday shows, we have an increasing number of people in the United States who do not speak English very well. A huge percentage of them are coming from Spanish-speaking countries, particularly Mexico. And I think we are at risk of establishing within the United States a Spanish-speaking subculture that never really fully becomes American, which is what we want
to do. Sure. The kids of all of those immigrants, let me tell you something. They want to play video games, and they want to speak English.
Actually, people ought to go and look at the Census Bureau website. Before this survey came out, I did a column based on data in the 2004 version of the survey that said more than 70% of the people in Santa Ana, California don't speak English at home, and a majority don't speak English well. There are major cities in this country where a significant chunk of the people do not speak English very well, and some of them are people who are being born and raised in the United States of America. I think that is a problem for people who want our country to remain one culture.
Well, let's set the record straight. Your audience will understand the difference between a static analysis and a dynamic one. Recently arrived immigrants don't speak English very well, but within 15 years, most know enough to get by, and their kids are English dominant. Most of their kids intermarry. The idea that we have a threat of balkanization because Mexicans are voting with their feet and coming to seek the American dream and believe in hard work and strong families as a threat to the United States is preposterous.
Weren't people saying this about the Irish? Weren't people saying this about the Italians? Weren't people saying this about the Portuguese? I mean, I could go on and on.
I believe Mr. Sherry's statement is an untested hypothesis. We have never had a situation.
So yours.
Wait a minute. We have never had in this country a situation where the great bulk of immigrants are coming from a single foreign language tradition, largely from a single country, in this case, Mexico. At the same time, we have a liberal ethic in our public schools and elsewhere, a multicultural ethic that wants people to retain their foreign culture and not assimilate into American culture. I think it is a very real problem, and I think we need to address it.
Oh, come on. Let's be real. Look, the bottom line, Mr. Jeffrey, is that obviously you don't believe in America enough. I'm betting on America. It's worked for 400 years. People come to the land of opportunity. They work hard. They believe in strong families. They open businesses. They have strong faith traditions. And within a generation or two, their kids go to college and they become middle-class professionals. That is the American dream. The Italians lived it. The Irish lived it. Sure, it was tough for the first few generations. That's what's going to happen with the Mexicans, because all you have to do is look empirically at Mexicans who came 40 or 50 years ago, and their home ownership rates, their intermarriage rates.
Those are all good things, and we hope they happen. And I welcome Mexican immigrants to the United States legally. I think they should come, and I think it is a good thing for them to come. However, Bear Stearns has done an analysis where they believe there are currently 20 million illegal immigrants in the United States.
It's a very good analysis. Don't laugh. I've read it. I think it's some of the best work done on immigration.
You're right. It's a very good analysis. Yeah. It's systematic. It's honest. And it's an attempt to allow people to dispassionately look at the immigration problem in the United States with real data. Bear Stearns believes that the Census Bureau has underestimated the influx of illegal immigration in the United States.
Well, what's the problem? American corporations get a lot of cheap labor. You know they like it. That's why they're not coming out on this immigration issue, because they like all that cheap labor.
The problem is that it's illegal. Now, the question is, how are we going to solve it? Are we going to make more of it legal? So the situation we have now...
And then they're going to have to pay them more, right?
Which is fine. I mean, we should have an equal playing field for workers and for employers so that the competitive, law-abiding employers and workers benefit, not the unscrupulous employers and the smugglers who are making a killing on our illegal immigration system. We should legalize the process and regulate it rather than shove it further underground, which the enforcement-only forces want.
I believe there should only be one kind of immigration into the United States. It should be legal immigration. And once people come here, they should all have the same rights, especially the same economic rights.
The question is how?
By only allowing legal immigration, by enforcing our immigration laws.
Gentlemen, hold on 1 second. The one thing that never goes said in all of this is, Let's be clear. The reason illegal immigrants get paid less is because they are illegal and they cannot demand more.
Absolutely.
And the fact of the matter is, once they are legal, they will be able to demand more. And all of the benefits that we don't like to talk about, that our construction is cheaper, that our food is cheaper, that we do not have as much inflation in this country because of them, that will all go away.
And a good thing. And a good thing. It's about time we stop the culture of illegality, but we're going to have carrots and sticks. We're going to have to increase legal immigration and get tougher on the border and on employers.
I just don't know if you guys understand
if the Senate prefer. And I think that's the solution. If we want to get control of immigration to wipe out the illegality, we're going to need carrots and sticks, not just sticks.
So both illegal immigration and the guest worker program that the president and others have designed to replace it is a form of corporate welfare. It's a way of transferring the costs of labor from tax-paying middle-class Americans to corporations. Right now what they do is they bring in illegal labor and they require middle-class taxpayers to pay for the education of the illegal laborer's child, to pay for the health care when they show up at the emergency room, to pay for the law enforcement costs. If you transfer that into a guest worker program where a person is under threat of being forced out of the country if they leave their job, you'll continue to have corporate America exploiting a subclass of workers in this country. There should only be one class of worker in America. That is someone who's either a permanent legal resident or a citizen. Corporate America does not deserve a subclass of workers enforced by the U.S. government. We had that before.
All right,
Make them legal taxpayers and we'll all be better off.
Wow. Okay, guys, we got to have you back. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about. Frank Sherry and Terry Jeffrey. All right, coming up on tomorrow's show, big economic indicator.